is a lamp unto my feet, and a light unto my path. Thy word is a lamp unto my feet, and a light unto my path.
A reading from the book of Sirach, chapter 3, verses 17 to 18, 20, 28 to 29. My child, conduct your affairs with humility, and you will be loved more than a giver of gifts. Humble yourself the more, the greater you are, and you will find favor with God. What is too sublime for you, seek not. Into things beyond your strength, search not. The mind of a sage appreciates proverbs, and an attentive ear is the joy of the wise. Water quenches a flaming fire, and alms atone for sins. This is the word of the Lord.
Second reading. A reading from the letter to the Hebrews, chapter 12, verses 18 to 19 and 22 to 24. Brothers and sisters, you have not approached that which could be touched, and a blazing fire and gloomy darkness, and a storm and a trumpet blast, and a voice speaking words such that those who heard begged that no message be further addressed to them. No, you have approached Mount Zion, and the city of the living God, the heavenly Jerusalem, and countless angels in festal gathering, and the assembly of the firstborn enrolled in heaven, and God the judge of all, and the spirits of the just made perfect, and Jesus, the mediator of a new covenant, and the sprinkled blood that speaks more eloquently than that of Abel. This is the word of the Lord.
A reading from the Holy Gospel of St. Luke, chapter 14, verse 1 and verses 7 to 14. On a Sabbath day, Jesus went to dine at the home of one of the leading Pharisees, and the people there were observing him carefully. He told a parable to those who had been invited, noticing how they were choosing the places of honor at the table. While when you are invited by someone to a wedding banquet, do not recline at table in the place of honor. A more distinguished guest than you may have been invited by him, and the host who invited both of you may approach you and say, "Give your place to this man." And then you would proceed with embarrassment to take the lowest place. Rather, when you are invited, go and take the lowest place, so that when the host comes to you, he may say, "My friend, move up to a higher position." Then you will enjoy the esteem of your companions at the table. For everyone who exalts himself will be humbled, but the one who humbles himself will be exalted. Then he said to the host who invited him, "When you hold a lunch or a dinner, do not invite your friends or your brothers or your relatives or your wealthy neighbors, in case they may invite you back and you have repayment. Rather, when you hold a banquet, invite the poor, the crippled, the lame, the blind. Blessed indeed will you be because of their inability to repay you, for you will be repaid at the resurrection of the righteous." The Gospel of the Lord.
We would always like to share the things openly, especially with our relatives and our friends and with the people to whom we know, whom we are known for. And it is very easy, and we are very pleasantly and we are very openly share our things with them when it is required and when they are in need. It should be done, and it is a practice that is accepted. But on the other hand, today Jesus would rather open another way, another area that we need to improve our lives. Today, Jesus entering into one of the Pharisees' houses where he's been invited for a meal, and seeing these people, how they are acting, and all the people of the same strata are there. Jesus is teaching to these people who are present there in this way. He says, when you give a lunch or a dinner, don't invite your friends or your brothers and relatives or your wealthy neighbors. For surely in return, they can invite you as well. Then it's not a blessing. It's not a blessing. It's just acting once again and paying the gratitude towards the other as hosting a meal for the others who have hosted a meal. And in that manner, you do not be blessed by the Lord, because all the people, they can have the things for themselves. And here, Jesus is inviting for us. He says beautifully, when you give a feast, invite instead the poor, the crippled, the lame, and the blind. Because they are the people who are unable to repay you. The others, they can repay you. But these people, they cannot repay you. But the Father in heaven, He will repay you. How is He going to repay you? He will repay you on the resurrection day. On the resurrection day. Therefore, my dear friends, let us get into this account and let us remember always, when we help, when we give something to a one who is unknown, to the one who cannot repay us, to the one who is unable in the same way to treat us, there is a blessing. There is a blessing. Therefore, let us open our hearts into those situations more than the situations where we are going to treat our friends, so that you will always surely be rewarded on the last day.